When you think of NBA players and teams, you probably picture slam dunks, game-winning shots, and championship rings. But sometimes what happens off the court makes just as much noise. Over the years, the NBA has handed out some jaw-dropping fines for all sorts of reasons, from unsportsmanlike conduct to shady behind-the-scenes deals. These fines aren't just pocket change either. They're worth millions of dollars, leaving even the wealthiest scratching their heads. Let's dive into the stories behind the biggest fines in NBA history and uncover why they happened in the first place. In 2021, the Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver received the largest fine in NBA history, $10 million. The league fined him after investigating claims of racism, harassment, and creating a toxic work environment. The investigation found that his actions harmed employees and the Suns' reputation. Even though Sarver was fined heavily and banned for a year, he sold his ownership for a huge profit. This case shows that fines are not just about money, they're about sending a message. The league made it clear that certain behaviors will not be tolerated no matter how powerful or influential the person might be. The Minnesota Timberwolves were fined $3.5 million in 2000 for violating critical NBA regulations, a decision that left a lasting scar on the franchise. The controversy began when the Timberwolves secretly negotiated an under-the-table deal with Joe Smith, a talented forward. The agreement involved signing Smith to a series of low-paying contracts with the unspoken promise of a lucrative long-term deal later, which would allow the team to skirt the salary cap rules. However, when the NBA uncovered this arrangement, the consequences were severe. The league not only levied a hefty fine, but also stripped the team of multiple first-round draft picks over the coming years, severely hampering its ability to build a competitive roster. This punishment created a ripple effect that the Timberwolves struggled to recover from, as they missed out on potential star players and fell behind other teams in rebuilding efforts. The Joe Smith debacle serves as a cautionary tale for NBA franchises, highlighting how bending the rules for short-term gains can lead to long-term damage. Even now, it remains one of the most infamous examples of salary cap manipulation in league history, proving that integrity and transparency are essential for success in professional sports. In 2014, Donald Sterling, the former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, faced a $2.5 million fine for racist remarks. His words were recorded and shared publicly, leading to a huge backlash. Players on his team even considered not playing in protest. The NBA acted quickly, banning Sterling for life and forcing him to sell the team. This fine wasn't just about money, it was about protecting the values of fairness and respect in the league. The fallout also sparked important conversations about diversity and inclusion in professional sport. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, has been fined multiple times, but his $750,000 fine in 2023 was especially memorable. His team was accused of losing games on purpose to secure a better draft pick, a strategy called tanking. Cuban's actions upset fans and other teams because it looked like the Mavericks were giving up instead of trying to win. The NBA wanted to show that every game should be played fairly, so they fined him heavily. Cuban defended his decision, but admitted that the optics weren't great. The incident reignited debates about how the draft system rewards losing teams. Another time Cuban made headlines was in 2018, when he admitted on a podcast that losing games could be a good strategy for his team. He was fined $600,000 for openly saying this, even though other teams have likely thought the same thing. Cuban's honesty cost him, but it also showed how serious the NBA is about keeping the competition real. His repeated fines highlighted the tricky balance between strategic decisions and the league's commitment to fair play. Back in 2006, a fight between the New York Knicks and the Denver Nuggets led to fines of $500,000 for each team. During a game, a hard foul by one player turned into a full-on brawl involving several players from both teams. The NBA punished the teams to remind everyone that such behavior is not acceptable. Players were also suspended for a total of 47 games, showing that actions on the court can have serious consequences off the court too. This incident remains one of the most infamous brawls in NBA history and serves as a cautionary tale for teams and players alike. Sometimes fines are given for strange reasons. Vladimir Redmanovich, a former player for the Los Angeles Lakers, was fined $500,000 in 2007 for injuring himself while snowboarding. His contract specifically banned him from engaging in risky activities like snowboarding, but he ignored the rule. To make matters worse, Radmanovic initially tried to cover up the incident by lying about how he got injured. When the truth came out, the Lakers issued the hefty fine. This situation served as a wake-up call for Radmanovic and the reminder to all players that contracts are more than just formalities. They outline expectations and protect both the player and the team. The fine also highlighted the importance of adhering to safety rules even in the off-season, as a single mistake could jeopardize a player's career and the team's investment. Even social media has led to fines. In 2011, Miami Heat owner Mickey Arison was fined $250,000 for tweeting during a league lockout. He called NBA officials greedy and said they made bad decisions. Though he quickly deleted the tweets, the damage was done. This fine showed how even words online can lead to big consequences in the professional world. The incident highlighted the growing role of social media in sports and the importance of thinking before you post. In 2012, the San Antonio Spurs were fined $250,000 for resting their best players during a game against the Miami Heat. The team decided to let Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Danny Green skip the game, even though fans had paid to see them play. The NBA saw this as unfair to fans and took action. This incident started a larger conversation about how teams manage their players' schedules and health. While some argued that the Spurs were protecting their players, others felt that the fans deserved better. One of the strangest fines in sports history happened back in 1984 involving the Portland Trail Blazers. The team was fined a whopping $250,000 for contacting college basketball players before the rules allowed them to. At the time, the team was trying to gain an advantage in the draft by reaching out to Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon, who were both college stars and future NBA legends. The Trail Blazers hoped that by making early connections, they could secure these talented players for their team. However, the NBA had strict rules to ensure fairness in the recruitment process, and the Blazers clearly broke them. The league wanted to send a clear message to all teams: no one is above the rules, and player recruitment must be done fairly and within the guidelines. The hefty $250,000 fine was a way to show that breaking the rules had serious consequences. This punishment was not just about money, it was about protecting the integrity of the draft and giving every team an equal chance to succeed. The incident became a big warning to other teams, reminding them to follow the rules and avoid sneaky tactics. It also showed how serious the NBA takes fair competition. The NBA's history of fines also includes moments of controversy and debate. Some fines, like those for tanking or resting players, have sparked discussions about whether the league's rules need to evolve. Others, like the fines for racism or harassment, have been widely supported as necessary steps to protect the league's integrity. Each fine tells a story, not just about the money involved, but about the values the NBA stands for. These fines remind us that the NBA isn't just about basketball, it's about fairness, respect, and following the rules. While some people might think the fines are too harsh, they exist to protect the game and everyone involved in it. For players and team owners, these fines are a clear message: no one is above the rules. From million-dollar penalties to bans and suspensions, the NBA has shown time and again that it's willing to take strong action to uphold the integrity of the sport.